presentation of HBO Sports.
What do I love about Brooklyn? Brooklyn is so full of culture, history, and pride. When people say, "Are you from New York?" you say, "No, I'm from Brooklyn."
Growing up in Brooklyn was definitely a challenge. They said if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, especially from Brooklyn.
I know that I have a legacy to live up to and to uphold. From the guys who have set the path for me, Tyson, Bo, Judah, the list goes on and on and on.
All of us had like this street mentality. When we got in the ring, it's like do or die.
Boom, brilliant shot. Daniel Jacobs stepping up and firing away.
There's a certain grit that you have when you grow up without a silver spoon in your mouth.
In some places, you know, when you guys take losses, your friends tap you in the back, say you do better next time. Brooklyn, it's a whole different story. You come back to the block with a loss, it's like, boy, you got your behind whooped. Boy, you can't come right here to you in your next fight, you know? So it's like, it's a different mentality.
It's a very special opportunity. The Brooklyn fans appreciate it. Every other show in Brooklyn is sold out when it comes to boxing. I'm grateful to be from this amazing place. We have so much to offer to the world because Brooklyn are fighters.
It's the fight most wanted by boxing fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Welcome to another edition of World Championship Boxing, coming to you with doubleheader action from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to this special doubleheader edition of HBO's World Championship Boxing, focusing on two Brooklyn-bred fighters who are appearing in the two fights here tonight. In the main event, it's Daniel Jacobs, currently the number 3 middleweight in the world, trying to continue polishing his credentials against a tough Polish opponent named Maciej Sulinski. Jacobs is hoping for a rematch with Gennady Golovkin, the number 1 middleweight in the world, whose 23 knockout streak he snapped in a close decision loss in Madison Square Garden last year. And before you see Jacobs in the main event, you'll see Brooklyn's prime heavyweight, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who is one of the biggest men in the heavyweight division. He weighed in for this fight at more than 300 pounds. He's taking on another giant in France's Johann Duhaupas, who has had an obscure but long career in France and now boxes out of Birmingham, Alabama. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is a rising star who is an outgoing personality. He might be as high as the 3rd best heavyweight in the world. He shares a promoter with Anthony Joshua and hopes to get a big win over Duhaupas tonight, which might move him forward toward a possible meeting with either Joshua or Deontay Wilder if they do not choose to fight against each other next. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Big Baby Miller against Johann Duhaupas, and you see the 8-year age advantage for Miller. He's 1 inch shorter than Duhaupas at 6 feet 4 inches tall. He gives up 2 inches in arm length, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, but he outweighs the opponent by 60 1/4 pounds. Jarrell Miller has gotten a lot of attention for his winning personality, as much for that as for his undefeated record. He put his personal skills on display recently when we accompanied him to the home of an unlikely friend whom he met through his work with a pediatric cancer foundation called The Truth 365.
I have a friend, and her name is Liddy Weaver, and she's one of the toughest little people that I know. A couple months ago, I did a photo shoot with Lily in Brooklyn in my hometown gym, and from right there I know she was special.
He's just like such a nice human being, and like he has a great personality and like huge heart when you get to know him and everything. And I think it's like amazing that, you know, he beats people up, but he also has like this huge heart and everything. Jarrell and I stayed in touch. He like DM'd me on Instagram and he was like, "What up, homie?" And I just thought it was the funniest thing. Now Jarrell and I are like so close, and he's like my big brother to me, and I'm his little sister. Hey, Jarrell! I'll be like talking to my friends and be like, "Oh, who's that guy on your Instagram?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my big brother Jarrell." And it's like no big deal. He's like gonna be the next heavyweight champion. Like it's fine. It's not a big deal.
So you gotta put a picture of me and you in your room. So if any boys come up here and they try to act up, that's my big brother.
I'm a big bro.
Exactly.
Fighting is so mental, you know, and there's days where you're like, I just don't want to do nothing. I don't want to train. I zone in back like, okay, she can do it, I can do it. You know, a lot of people are going through stuff worse than I am going through, so I have no reason to complain. Let me see. I gotta think of a great quote. What's a great quote?
No hair, don't care.
No hair, don't care. Let's get it.
Seeing Jarrell today was amazing. You could see the light in Lily's eyes, and he's just so nice to be with. I mean, it's just so nice. He's just a great guy that just cares about Lily and cares about the kids with childhood cancer. It's just amazing.
They are straight out fighters. I mean, they both have different passions for what they have to fight for, but watching them come together is quite amazing to see that they really are on the same team for sure.
You know, I know you've been up here and, you know, doing the kind of routine. I want to get you out a little bit. I want to invite you to my fight April 28th and walk me out into the ring.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's gonna be so cool. That means I'm gonna be on TV.
On TV all day.
I have a friend. He inspires me every single day to never give up because you don't see him go out in the ring, take one punch, and then go home. He takes one punch and then, you know, punches them like 20, 30 times and never gives up. And I think it's really cool that I'm an inspiration to him because he's an inspiration to me. And it's just crazy to think that he's like my big brother to me.
Johann Duhaupas is already in the ring. So now, as Jarrell Big Baby Miller walks to a professional prize fight ring for the 22nd time in his career, Lily Weaver walks for the first time from the dressing room to the ring. And cancer is kind of an underlying theme for the evening here, along with Brooklyn, as in addition to Jarrell Big Baby Miller's interest in cancer patients via the foundation we discussed, Daniel Jacobs, star fighter in the main event, has already been diagnosed with and beaten a rare form of bone cancer that happened in the middle of his professional boxing career,
where it looked certain that his career at the very least would be over, but that's not the way the story ended.
That was our HBO boxing analyst, Max Kellerman. I'm joined by Max and Roy Jones at ringside now. And Big Baby is stretching this walk out, no doubt, for Lily's benefit.
Yeah, Lily gets to go home, show all of her friends herself on TV with her big brother, but people like Lily are who give fighters a chance and make us want to go when we don't want to go, you know? So you can't ask for a better, or to be accompanied by a better person.
So the inspiration works both ways.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Quickly, let's take a closer look at Johann Duhaupas, fighting out of Birmingham, Alabama. He's fought in 11 different countries as a professional. This is only the second fight in the United States. 2 KO losses, one to Deontay Wilder, but he stretched Wilder to the 11th round, and one to Povetkin when he elected to go ahead and fight Alexander Povetkin the day after Povetkin was found having tested positive for steroids. Bermain Stavern dropped out of the fight, and with the opportunity to fight a top-level pro, Duhaupas said, "I'll take it," and wound up getting knocked out in the 6th round. This is his 3rd fight with trainer David Godber, who was Deontay Wilder's trainer when Wilder was in his amateur career. And now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Barclays Center right here in Brooklyn, New York, USA, where tonight Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing USA and Salida Promotions are proud to present an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. And it's sponsored by Tecate, the official beer of boxing, and JD Sports, all bouts sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The three judges assigned by the commission at ringside, Bernard Bruni, Larry Hazard Jr., and Julie Letterman. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Sade Murdahl. And now it's the big boys of boxing as we go to 12 rounds scheduled in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing green with black, he stands 6'5" and weighed in officially at 244.2 pounds. His professional record, 36 victories, including 22 big wins by knockout with 4 defeats. From Abbeville, Somme, France, the former WBC silver belted heavyweight champion, mesdames et messieurs, Johann Reptile Duhaupas. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, his opponent wearing black with purple, standing 6'4" and weighing in officially at 304.4 pounds. His professional record, 20 victories, 18 big wins by knockout with 1 draw, and he's captured the NABO title from Brooklyn, New York, the undefeated Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
Put the mouthpiece in. Okay, gentlemen, bring it in right here. Johann, bring it in right here. Okay, gentlemen, the trunks are good. Anything here is all good. Anything here is all good.
Shows on by?
Okay? As a reminder, obey the commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. When I call for the break, I want you to give me a clean break. Touch gloves. Let's go to work. Touch them up. Beautiful.
Jarrell Big Baby Miller trying to make a statement tonight in front of the hometown crowd in Brooklyn that he is the guy that Anthony Joshua, the heavyweight champion of the world, should fight next. Jarrell's undefeated, tipping, and I mean tipping the scales at over 300 pounds, and yet the kind of style that belies his size. He's active, throws a lot of punches, and light on his feet for a big guy.
Buster Mathis comparison?
Mathis more of a boxer, but yes.
I'm trying to remember the last time we saw a heavyweight weigh in at more than 300 pounds. I have to assume it was Butterbean, and I don't know if we've seen anybody since Butterbean who would have weighed in that heavily, or that heavy.
Valuev, maybe, he's 7-footer.
Possible. When Big Baby took off that mask that he wore into the ring, it revealed that he had already worked up a world-class sweat underneath the mask.
Yes, he did. And it looks like he's punching a little sharper tonight than he did last time we seen him. He said the last time we seen him was a little bit of an off night. Tonight the punches look crisper already.
That's the question with Big Baby, Roy, I think, is he's not a bad puncher, but not the devastating puncher you'd expect considering the level of talent he has and his size.
Yeah, his size, he's more of a boxer than he is a puncher, and that's different for a big guy, but he can punch as well, as you see right there. So he begins to be a little bit more devastating with those punches, so that when that 304 pounds hits someone, we see results, then he'll be exactly what we want to see, a complete, polished heavyweight.
You talked about the last time we saw him. The last time we saw Big Baby Miller was in a fight at the end of 2017 against the Polish Mariusz Bach. Bach weighed 283. So tonight's opponent at 254 is considerably lighter than the last guy with whom Miller was in the ring. And Miller's landed some clean shots here already in round number 1.
Yeah, he is, Jim. And what we want to see really is that if Johann went 11 rounds with Wilder, we know how Wilder can punch. So let's see, and he went 6 rounds with Povetkin, maybe out of shape because he took it at last minute, late notice. Let's see how can Big Baby get him out, if Big Baby can, with having a timely manner before he got ready.
Well, when I mentioned the Big Baby yesterday, I guess the goal here would be to try to knock this guy out in a shorter duration, a shorter period of time than it took Wilder to get him out of there. He said that will be, for me, the name of the game tomorrow night. Looking for a viable comparison.
You mentioned Buster Mathis. He was a heavyweight from the 60s and 70s, beat Joe Frazier in the Olympic trials, but got hurt, so Frazier went as an alternate and won a gold medal.
Solid right hand by Miller, and another one. Duhaupas in trouble already. The minute to go, no 30 seconds to go in round number 1. Those two right hands clearly rung Duhaupas' bell, but now Big Baby is back to stalking and boxing. One more try with the right hands.
And anyway, I said that Mathis is more of a boxer. He's a big guy, more of a boxer than Big Baby. Big Baby has boxing skills. He just applies them aggressively.
And he's doing a good job tonight by not staying outside fighting the taller Johann. He's going in, making Johann fight right away.
Time! Good first round for Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, fighting before a home crowd here in Brooklyn.
Beautiful round, baby. Beautiful round.
Towel. Where's the bucket? Where's the spit bucket? Where's the bucket? Arms down. Come on, arms down. You're doing good. You know what I'm saying? Water. All you got to do is walk them down. You know what I'm saying? Don't swing hard.
One in the back.
Yeah. Don't swing hard. Just keep the pressure on them. Just keep walking them down, all right? That's all you got to do.
Keep touching, but I want to slip it. Keep
slipping. Walk them down.
Those overhand rights, you know those are there.
Body shot.
He said beautiful overhand right landed by Big Baby, but it landed on the back of the head, not on the chin. Duhaupas took it well because it was behind the ear, but it would have been a very interesting shot to see had it landed on the chin. I would have liked to see what effect it had.
It looked like he didn't really have his body behind the punch, Roy. It looked more like an arm punch, and maybe that's why the shots don't land quite with the authority you'd expect given his size.
It was enough to widen Duhaupas' eyes, though, and that look meant I felt it.
That's a big arm. Could be an arm punch. That's a big arm.
Yeah, man, it's a 300-pound arm.
Now they go into a jabbing contest. Both guys have formidable jabs.
And what I like to see, Jim, the thing I like to see about a fighter like Big Baby is he's not being stupid here. He knows that Duhaupas has long arms, so he's forcing the pace. He's going forward, not letting Duhaupas just have his weight from the outside. He's actually out jabbing him even. So when you make the pressure, make the tall guy back up, you put the pressure on him, you close the gap like that, and you get in your best range. And he's really throwing some good punches tonight.
And that's the difference between tonight and the last time out. Is he's throwing punches, as another Brooklyn heavyweight famously said, with bad intentions tonight.
Uppercut landed for Big Baby, and once again Duhaupas appears to have been rocked as Big Baby unloads a series of punches here where Duhaupas gets to the ropes.
The Big Baby is something serious.
And those were devastating power shots with his weight behind him.
Yes, sir. He knows how to do that.
This is a hot start for Jarrell Miller.
Good body shot.
He's also, for a high-volume, big heavyweight, very relaxed, Roy.
Yeah, he's very relaxed.
And Sade Murdaugh is now going to give Duhaupas a chance to recover from a clear low blow delivered by Miller.
5 minutes.
Before the low blow, you saw Miller walking in just easily, nonchalantly, almost slipping the jab. He's a comfortable, relaxed fighter.
Ready?
Murdaugh making clear to Duhaupas that he has 5 minutes if he wants to take them.
Time
then 30 seconds later, he says, "Are you ready?"
He could have said no.
Quick right hand by Duhaupas. Caught Big Baby. Uppercut by Miller. At with a straight right hand down the pipe. Showing a lot of different weapons early on tonight.
That's what you love to see in a good heavyweight. A guy who has an arsenal, who can throw the left hand, the right hand, the uppercut, the body shots, and he's showing you the total package here tonight.
Fans may wonder, Roy, why his trainer said don't swing hard. Fans are thinking, hey, isn't that a part of the game, to swing hard and make big contact? Why did Harry Kite say don't swing hard?
Because when you swing hard, you telegraph. And so he doesn't want him to telegraph the shots. He wants him to throw the punches with his body, not swing so wide as trying to put power behind it. Because when you try to put power behind it, you telegraph it and you make it wider than it should be, like that. See how short that was? Short and compact. If that lands, it's going to cause some problems.
The good news about his trainer saying that is it indicates his intentions tonight. He's looking to hurt his opponent.
He's putting punches together brilliantly here in the early going. Throwing with both hands, and there's a perfect example, Roy, of what you said earlier about closing the distance, getting up into Duhaupas' chest, and limiting the Frenchman's chance of landing a power shot.
Exactly right, Jim.
And there's Lily. She thinks he's had a good start, too.
All right, John, stay off the ropes. Okay, your jab, overhand right, but stay off the ropes. He's getting tired. Out in the middle of the ring, not here. Okay.
Here we see Big Baby come in and land a beautiful, vicious right uppercut, an old Larry Holmes style right uppercut. Boom, and the legs buckle from Duhaupas. I thought Duhaupas was going down. Looking for him, that left hook went over, and maybe the legs buckling saved him from that left hook that probably would have put him down.
Go! In round two, Big Baby Miller's averaging 64 thrown punches per round. In the last 5 fights coming in, that average was 45 punches per round. So he has stepped up the pace measurably in these first 2 rounds tonight. David Godber, who was the amateur coach, as we mentioned, for Deontay Wilder and now trains Big Baby Miller, lists as another of his credits, head coach, University of Alabama boxing team. Roy, when are you going to coach the Florida State Seminoles?
Whenever they put the team together, I'll become the coach.
Are you listening in Tallahassee? You have a great, talented coach available to you.
And I think we meant the trainer for Duhaupas, not Big Baby Miller.
No, yeah, I meant Duhaupas. Yeah. Did I say Miller?
Yeah,
that was
Miller.
incorrect. I meant David Godber, who's training Duhaupas here.
Yeah. Duhaupas is limited in certain ways, obviously, but he's an experienced heavyweight. As you mentioned, went serious rounds with Deontay Wilder. Took a beating, but won 11 rounds. And Miller just showed something I thought a part of his game that's important, which is like in a basketball game where one team makes a run. You know they're going to make a run. Duhaupas tried to make a little run there. He's the taller guy. He's experienced. And Miller took away his offense with his defense, with Miller's defense, and did it while staying aggressive.
And Miller throwing some very devastating short punches inside. Something you rarely see from a good heavyweight.
But he frustrated Duhaupas' offense as the shorter fighter who's coming forward, and he did it with defensive tactics.
And he's out jabbing the tall guy, much like the white Muhammad Qawi would do. Oh, good right hand.
Hard right hand by Duhaupas.
Walk right through that. Look at Big Baby. Just walk right through that big right hand. Wow.
Duhaupas is showing composure, awareness. He's got some skills. Not bad in there. This is a good test for Jarrell Big Baby Miller, but Miller is passing it with flying colors so far. Here's an uppercut by Duhaupas. Miller comes back across the top.
See how Miller just caught the punch arm? Well, that right hand landed, but 3 or 4 were arms, shoulder, elbows.
2 uppercuts in that sequence by Big Baby Miller.
Miller expends very little energy on defense, just subtle defensive moves.
Very relaxing there for a big guy.
A lot of guys as big as Big Baby, when they move inside, they can't find the space or the angle to throw the uppercut. He does it very effectively and over.
He's like an elephant in a grass shop. He knows how to walk delicately around this ring and how to use his size very delicately, which makes him a very good heavyweight.
Miller would love to lure Anthony Joshua to Brooklyn for a title shot.
This This Wednesday, don't miss the premiere episode of our 5-part series, Being Serena, an extraordinary all-access look at the most famous new mom in sports, Serena Williams, as she charts a new path into motherhood and then back to the professional tennis tour. Next Saturday night, Gennady Golovkin, looking to stay busy after the cancellation of his fight with Canelo Alvarez, puts his middleweight title belts on the line against former American Olympian Vanish Martirosyan. Also that night, Cecilia Brækhus makes the 22nd defense of her women's world welterweight title against Callie Rice. Or Reese, I should say. And there's Saddam Ali, who will be appearing on May 12 at Turning Stone Casino in upstate New York against a new opponent just named today, Jaime Munguia of Mexico. Munguia, who is in Saddam Ali's 154-pound weight class, has 28 wins in a row, with 24 of them by knockout, so he's got a solid record to bring in against Saddam Ali. In round 3, Duhaupas landed a fight-high 13 punches, but Miller landed 17, throwing just 52. And Harold Letterman is scoring for us. Harold, how do you have it through the first 3?
Okay, Jim, I got a 3-0, 30-27, Jarrell Miller. I just think that Jarrell Miller is out punching him, landing more shots, especially to the head. He's doing a terrific job landing right hands to the head. I thought that Duhaupas, came close in round 3. I thought round 3 was a very close round. But still in all, I got a 3-0 in favor of Jarrell Miller.
And I think that would be Lily Weaver's scorecard, and might well be the scorecard of all the official judges here at ringside as well.
Harold brings up that Miller's landing well, especially to the head. The first round, the first time Miller really opened up, Roy, he went to the body briefly, and you heard it like a bass drum, but he has not gone back there consistently.
Well, he's gone back consistently, Max, but this is the first round we see Duhaupas come out and push him backwards, which is what Duhaupas wants to do. It gives him range. Like right here, you'll see when he get him against the ropes, when Big Baby gets him against the ropes, he will go to the body, but Duhaupas had him backing up for the first part of this round, which was something different, and which is the way, like, see that body shot right there? Which is the way you want to see Duhaupas fight. Duhaupas should be backing him up and not backing up. Instead, Big Baby is backing him up again now, which is what Big Baby wants and needs. See that body shot right there? Every time he backs him up, he throws body shots. The only time he doesn't throw body shots is when he's on the retreat. See that? Oh, good shot.
Another uppercut by Miller. He's been featuring that punch with tremendous effect early on.
Yeah, the most devastating.
Another uppercut. Another uppercut.
Aiming these all upstairs, the devastating shots, and maybe if he put some of those down to the body, he'd have a better shot at ending the fight.
Well, I think that's what's opening Duhaupas up for him, Max. The fact that when he gets him against the rope, first thing he does is attack the body. And Duhaupas lands a beautiful uppercut right there himself.
Big right hand.
But the first thing that Big Baby does when he gets Duhaupas against the ropes is he throws a good body shot.
One of the best ways to stop a guy from landing a barrage of uppercuts is to throw your own uppercut and remind him that if he's going to come that close and open that angle for you, he can pay for it.
That's exactly right. Duhaupas has a good jab, too. He just landed 2 really good jabs.
He's got skills.
Don't do that. Let's go.
That's been apparent from round number 1.
That's good right by Duhaupas. Good shot.
Through those good body shots that you were referring to early, they were one at a time. With his back to the ropes, it's true.
See that? There were 2 right there.
There was a long time between them, Roy.
Yeah, it's a long time between them, Max, because he can't just throw body shots when a guy Duhaupas punching that hard to your head. You give up a big head shot. You got to be really careful when you're throwing those body shots.
This is an excellent heavyweight fight.
Yes, it is.
This is a very active, high skill level heavyweight fight so far through round 4.
Towel, give me a towel. Who's got a white towel? Right here. Okay. Right there. Yeah, right here by my foot. Okay. John. You want this? You want this, motherfucker? Do you want it? If you want it, go get it. Come on, we didn't came too far. You came too far.
You big baby, get up.
That's right.
Stepping up.
Here you see Duhaupas turning the tables around a little bit. He's smart because he began hit with right uppercut. He lands his own right uppercut followed by a left hook for a change, which was 2 very good shots against Big Baby, but Big Baby took him very well.
Interesting that Harry Kite just stepped into Big Baby's face and said, "Do you want this? You really want it?" Okay, you've come too far. He's trying to indicate that he wants even more energy and commitment out of Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
But what he saw, Jim, I think, was he saw Big Baby start to fade a little bit at the end of that round, and he wants to make sure that he's not losing focus and that he's not letting his foot up off of the gas.
You could even see when Duhaupas went for the uppercut, Miller knew it was coming. He braced for it the whole time the punch was on the way, but didn't move out of the way.
Well, here, another thing, Max, experience may be a factor here because Duhaupas has been in these long, grueling fights probably a few more times than has Big Baby. So Big Baby does have to be careful here, and I'm sure that's why the guy was trying to keep him focused in the corner. Oh, good shot.
Turned southpaw to land the left uppercut. Got a lot of offensive skills, Miller.
Right back down to the body.
That was
like a real professional.
That was a very impressive move.
He better not punch himself out though, Jim. This could be an experience factor if he does that, so he better stay ready.
Boy, Duhaupas is durable, tough, and has a pretty doggone good chin.
That's why I'm saying he better not punch himself out because this guy went 11 rounds, good body shot.
There's the
11 rounds with Wilder, so you know you got to be able to take something.
He's had 20 more professional fights than has Miller. Miller's had 21 pro fights. Duhaupas had 41. So there is a slight difference, or maybe more than slight, a difference in experience, and Duhaupas using it.
Yep, and that body shot may have hurt Duhaupas a little bit, but Big Baby just has to be careful not to overtime or not.
Another hard body shot by Big Baby.
This fight, it gets better for Duhaupas as it gets longer because he's gone in these grueling fights before, like we just said. Big Baby doesn't have a lot of experience at this yet. But he's smart. At least he's engaged in the body shots.
Yeah, he is. I'd like to see him do that almost exclusively for a round or two. I think he'd end the fight.
He may get caught with something big over the top too because Duhaupas still throwing some really good shots over the top.
If Miller can really put himself into the discussion of the stratosphere of the heavyweight division, get himself into the public mind somewhere in the same level as Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, the public will find that he is one of the liveliest, most outspoken, most entertaining personalities in the division in quite some time.
I tell you what, he's putting his body into these punches tonight. Yeah. I didn't see this the first time, but tonight he's ripping with these punches.
Conscious perhaps of how big and strong Duhaupas is. Hard right hand, left hook. The combinations continue flowing from Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who has been terrific for the first 5 rounds. And here's a look at Daniel Jacobs, grooving to the music as he prepares for his assignment against Maciej Sulinski. Mike Basil there, wrapping Jacobs' hands. And there's the opponent, Maciej Sulinski, from Warsaw, Poland, who, somewhat like Duhaupas, is now fighting with an American base. His game has changed dramatically since he left Poland, where he was a finesse fighter, winning decisions, and came to the United States, where he has become an aggressor, winning by knockout.
Here you see Big Baby go Mike Tyson style and land a beautiful left uppercut from the southpaw position. Don't see that from a lot of heavyweights since the days of Mike Tyson.
Well, did Mike turn that shoulder forward and from
Mike
southpaw position?
Southpaw and kill him with a left uppercut in a minute.
Yeah, what was impressive about that, too, is the intention behind it. You see Big Baby wanted to set him up by switching and landed the exact shot he wanted to.
There's Harold Letterman's unofficial scorecard so far, and you can see that it is a whitewash so far, with Jarrell Big Baby Miller winning every round so far against Duhaupas. Johann Duhaupas has put on a pretty good demonstration of what a quality opponent he is, but Miller is just a cut above round after round. Miller making Duhaupas miss with a right and a left there, making him miss with an overhand right and a swinging left there.
And what's going to have to happen here, Jim, is Big Baby Miller is going to have to continuously hit Duhaupas with something to calm him down, because Duhaupas is going to feel like the longer this fight goes, the better it is in his favor because of his experience. So Big Baby has to constantly keep him in check by hitting him with something big to make him know that if you get too crazy, you will get knocked out. Or you might get knocked out.
Miller put on a demonstration of his rolling with the punch skills as he rolled on 2 or 3 different shots from Duhaupas.
See that?
There's a hard right hand by Duhaupas.
And that's what I'm talking about. You got to keep him in check or he'll do things like that because of the experience. And he knows if you chop a tree long enough, though it's a big tree, it still may come down. But that's what you want to
So what we're seeing is that Miller has a tendency sometimes to relax.
Yeah, that's what his coach was trying to tell him. He doesn't want him to relax. And sometimes because the guy hasn't gone the distance or gone as many rounds as many times, fatigue sets in. He doesn't really know how to handle it, but he's doing a good job of it so far right now. We want to see, though, how he does with it over the next few rounds.
What, you mean a 304-pound man might get tired from doing this?
Wouldn't necessarily say for tired as much as I would say fatigue, because he's not a good body shot by Duhaupas. He's not a fat 300-pound man. He's a well-built 300-pound man, but fatigue still is a factor when you don't have the experience.
And now your point about him not being a fat 300-pound man, but being a well-built 300-pound man, that's pretty much the point that Big Baby wanted to make to Max Kellerman in our meeting with the fighters yesterday. As,
he's not fat the way some of those heavyweights of the 80s were, you know, during the end of Larry Holmes' title run, the beginning of Mike Tyson's. But I do think he could be in better shape than this. I think it's his size tonight, while he's been impressive, has affected his quickness a little bit.
I don't think so. I think he's just as quick as he'd be any other way. And the way I judge a guy by being fat when they're that big is, does his stomach stick out more than his chest does? No, it does not. Therefore, he's not really what you call a fat fighter.
I know what you mean. You could see he's solid underneath there.
Very solid.
Especially on defense, I think at times he's a little bit slower, maybe even than the last time out to my eye.
I like the way you put it yesterday, Max. Let's have fewer Greg Page comparisons and more Riddick Bowe type comparisons. I think that made sense. Next Saturday night, Gennady Golovkin, who thought he'd be facing Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas, instead takes on former United States Olympian Vanes Martirosyan at the StubHub Center in Carson, California. The promoter, Tom Loeffler, says he believes they are going to break the StubHub attendance record. And on May 9, it's the return of my show, The Fight Game. Join me for an in-depth look at the biggest stories and issues in the world of boxing.
How do you break the StubHub attendance record, Jim? Isn't there just a certain number of seats, and haven't they had events where they've sold them all?
No. Remember, when he fought Marco Antonio Rubio there, they sold standing room tickets for the first time. And they can very easily break the attendance record by simply selling more standing room. They'll also break the live gate record because the ticket prices are the highest they've ever been for a fight at StubHub Center. In round 6, Miller threw just 39 punches after having averaged 60 punches in the preceding 5 rounds. That goes to that tendency to relax from time to time and that possibility of getting tired. Let's go to Harold Letterman to see how he has it through 6.
Okay, Jim, I got it 60-54, 6 rounds to nothing, Jarrell Miller. You know, Jim, in each and every round, he's landed the cleanest, sharpest shots. But I just get the impression that he's not hurting Duhaupas. I mean, you know, you figure he'd be able to take him out with those shots that he's landed, but Duhaupas is really holding up very, very well. He's a very good defensive fighter, to say the least. And he's holding his own. He's landing a lot of those good left jabs. 6-0, Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
So what about Harold's comment, Roy? Where is the finishing power?
Well, I don't see the finishing power there yet because Duhaupas is a really good guy, good opponent to take a punch. If Wilder didn't finish him in 11 rounds, then he's a big boy.
If Deontay Wilder, whose right hand can knock down anything it hits, you can say whatever you want about Deontay Wilder, he has freakish power in his right hand. If it takes him 11 rounds, this is not a guy who's just going to go out on one shot.
Not at all.
Well, in fact, if Deontay Wilder took 11 rounds to knock Duhaupas out, you might say the logical conclusion is Big Baby should be happy with the decision.
Well, and that's why I want, when I say concentrate on the body, I mean a round or two where that's all you're doing. Because this Duhaupas is a guy you really have to grind down, I think.
Yeah, but you got to be really careful concentrating on that body because Duhaupas also throws a really good right hand that if he catches you with it in those small rival gloves, anything can happen.
And an uppercut if you're not careful.
That's right. You got to be really careful inside just throwing at it.
Miller yells, come on, come on, come on.
Double hook by a heavyweight.
And that's not
show him, big baby.
That's not just a tactic to psych Duhaupas out. Miller's feeling it. He wants to hurt his guy.
That's exactly right.
Barclays Center in Brooklyn is becoming quite a venue for heavyweight boxing. This was the scene earlier this year of the all-out war between Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder. It ended with a Wilder KO of Ortiz in the 11th.
214 versus 305, which is almost 314, would be a very exciting thing to see, Jim.
That's a great point. Wilder came in at that kind of weight. Miller might conceivably outweigh him by 80, 90 pounds. And still, Wilder would be seen as the bigger puncher.
He sure would.
Tall guy, rangy, fast hands, huge right hand.
Big Baby trying to decoy Duhaupas a little bit there. Showing off for the fans as well. Right. And there are 7 rounds in the books.
Hold on. Rinse him out. Rinse.
Put it up now, so he can't take this. Deep breaths. Come on, let's get that second one.
Get that second one. Come on, it's the time of your time. It's right here. You know what I'm saying?
Deep breaths.
Here's exactly what I said Big Baby has to do. Anytime Duhaupas does something good and gets like he's in a rhythm, you got to hit him with one of these, boom, just to let him know that I'm still in control. That's the way the least experienced guy keeps the more experienced guy in check.
I like the way Big Baby slapped Duhaupas' right hand out of the way so that he could land his own right hand. He reached with the left glove, slapped the right hand out of the way, and threw right past it.
Pretty slick old school maneuver.
Yeah, he's what in boxing parlance is called a cutie. And even at his size, he has some cute skills.
In round 7, Miller landed 20 of 67 after just throwing 39 in the 6th round. So clearly, he took the 6th round off to a certain extent to build up some energy and come back with a rally in the 7th. And he continues to dominate the fight, at least on our unofficial Harold Letterman scorecard.
See, little things like Duhaupas came out to throw some really sharp punches just then, and Big Baby slipped him like it was nothing, like it was effortlessly for him to slip those punches. That takes a lot of confidence from a guy when that happens to him.
Confidence and good reflexes.
Well, he has confidence and good reflexes, but I'm saying, see how Duhaupas tries right there? Duhaupas is still trying to knock him out with one shot every chance he gets.
Pretty light on his feet for a 300-pounder.
Got to put in the grand shot. Like watching a 6'10" point guard like Ben Simmons. You don't see a heavyweight that quick and that fluent on his feet like that no more at 300 pounds. You don't see a 6'10" and 7-foot point guard like Giannis and Antetokounmpo and Ben Simmons.
You do nowadays, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what Big Baby showed us.
Does Giannis Antetokounmpo really have a position?
No,
I mean, to me, he doesn't have a position.
He can play anything.
He plays wherever he wants to play.
Yep.
But that's basketball. We're watching boxing. Jarrell Big Baby Miller has a position. He wants to be number 3 in the heavyweight division and then get a chance to state his case against one of the top 2.
But what he doesn't want to be, if we're making cross-sports analogies, is Pete Rose in the sense that you talk about essentially a bull in a china shop. He doesn't want to be a big, strong guy who hits singles and doubles.
Exactly.
He wants to be a big, strong guy who hits home runs.
Good left hook by Duhaupas a moment ago.
Not that it's bad to be the boxing equivalent of Pete Rose. It's just not what he's aiming for.
Duhaupas now seems to have succumbed to the fact that he's just not good enough to keep Big Baby off of him.
So you don't see the same stick-to-itiveness and will in Duhaupas now that you saw a couple of rounds ago.
No, I don't. And Big Baby's making him go back without even trying to now. just the pressure on him is making him give in and making him look like he's not the same guy with the same heart and will anymore.
Good body shot by Duhaupas. Miller answers back with the left hand, and round 8 comes to a close.
Yeah.
We're smarter than that. You make a miss, you gotta make
Yeah,
a pay.
that's right. And you giving them you.
Okay. Go.
Yeah.
That thing's gonna come right off. Just wrap it around it once.
What?
Vamos. There you go. Much better. Second shot, guys. Let's go.
Johann Duhaupas has 37 wins as a professional heavyweight, but almost all of them are names of fighters who you wouldn't really recognize even if you're the most extreme fan in the sport. When he's fought the names that we do recognize, like Povetkin, like Wilder, and now like Big Baby Miller, Duhaupas is having trouble scoring. In round 8, Miller landed a fight-high 11 jabs. That's double the heavyweight average. It's just one of the other things that he does very well.
Seem to be catching a second wind here too, Jim. I think Duhaupas really is catching it again, but Duhaupas can take a punch.
Seven-week training camp for Duhaupas in Birmingham, Alabama.
I got it. Step back.
Not sure how many French restaurants he's able to find in Birmingham. Or perhaps he has become a barbecued rib aficionado.
Well, he got some good food down there in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, boy.
That dirty South, they're going to find something you like.
I could take him to the Social Grill and introduce him to fried okra.
Good jabs by both fighters. And you know what else I like about Big Baby Jim? I like the head movement. You see he's not walking straight in. He's walking in with that head moving from side to side. That's another phase of a heavyweight that we don't often see anymore.
Well, I mentioned earlier, he put on an exhibition of rolling with punches. A lot of heavyweights don't have that skill.
Not at all.
Roll away from a punch. And he showed 4, 5, 6 shots in a row exactly how you do it. The middle.
Duhaupas giving it all he got now. You got to give him credit there, Jim. He's taking it and he's trying to give it. Oh, good shot. Whoa. By both fighters.
Yeah, left hook by Duhaupas, straight right hand by Miller. They landed simultaneously. They're both still in there, hanging in and firing away.
Miller tries to look off a lot of shots, Roy, and a lot of times, as I mentioned earlier in the fight, he winced and braced himself for an uppercut that he knew was coming when the uppercut started, yet he didn't get out of the way. If he knows the punch is coming, why just try to look it off instead of slipping?
That's true, but some guys rather just look it off and keep it going. He wants to stay close enough so that he can look it off and come back with his own punch, maybe. Oh, good shot by Duhaupas. Has no effect whatsoever on Big Baby.
Time!
9 rounds in the books. There's Daniel Jacobs with his longtime trainer, Andre Rozier. Rozier had a terrific year last year as a trainer. You'll see him again in a couple weeks with Saddam Ali up at Turning Stone Casino in upstate New York. And there's Maciej Sulinski. Trainer with Maciej Sulinski was his Olympic coach in Poland, and they were separated for a long period of time during the professional career, but now he's back. And Sulinski says that should lead to some improvement on his part because that's the trainer he most enjoys working with. In round 9, Miller landed and threw fight highs of 30 and 70 punches, including 13 jabs landed. And we told you 5.5 is the heavyweight jab landing average. So let's go to Harold Letterman and see how he has it scored after 9 rounds. Harold?
Okay, Jim, I got it 8-1, 89-82, Jarrell Big Baby Miller. You know, Jimmy, you look at Duhaupas' face and it's all busted up. I mean, he's got swollen eyes. Everything is busted up. Jarrell Big Baby Miller just landing the cleaner, harder shots, winning just about every round. I gave Duhaupas the 8th round, but other than that, it's all Big Baby Miller. 8 rounds to 1, Jarrell Miller.
To Roy's point about Miller being in shape, even though, as I said, he's a little overweight, and now 20-30 pounds heavier than we're used to seeing him. He is a volume puncher, and the other guy is the guy who always wears down, not him. So there's plenty of evidence that Miller is in very good cardiovascular shape and has the legs of a fighter who's put in the work in preparation for the fight.
Anthony Joshua is a big man, Roy, and solid. 246 pounds, all muscle, built like a truck. Deontay Wilder, as we've mentioned, is long and in some ways thin for a heavyweight. If you were training Jarrell Big Baby Miller and he got a shot at Wilder, would you want him to lose 20 pounds to get ready for Wilder?
Not at all.
You want him to fight him at 304?
Fight him right where he's comfortable at, which is 304. This is comfortable. He looks good here. He has a very high punch output. He's boxing very well. There's nothing wrong with what we see tonight. Sometimes you have to, like the old people say, sometimes you have to learn to leave well enough alone. This is well enough for me.
Would he be at a speed deficit against Wilder?
No, not at all. He got quick hands.
Oh, look at the left hook there.
He has very quick hands. He's probably one of the faster heavyweights in the division right now.
Yeah, I think that is a perfectly reasonable point of view. And from my point of view, I don't know what the answer to that question is. It's hard to say. When a big heavyweight comes in 20-30 pounds bigger, the first thought is not that's the best place for him, but you can't argue with the results. If the results are there, the results are there. The question is, does it affect his quickness? And that's hard to say.
Miller shares his promoter, Eddie Hearn, with Joshua. And Hearn, for his part, has said, hey, if in fact Joshua doesn't want to go ahead and make the big deal against Wilder, then Miller is a very logical next opponent for him. That's a different kettle of fish fighting against Anthony Joshua.
But it would make sense. Oh, good couple shots from Duhaupas in the middle of the ring, upstairs. It would make sense, good action here, for that fight to happen here in the States, maybe here at Barclays in Brooklyn, to expose Anthony Joshua to the American fight public.
This Wednesday, don't miss the premiere episode of our 5-part documentary series, Being Serena, an unprecedented all-access look at tennis superstar Serena Williams' journey over the last year, becoming a new mom and staging her comeback to the tennis court. Following Being Serena, stick around for an encore presentation of April 5's Real Sports, featuring an interview with new Miami Marlins CEO Derek Jeter, who has faced heavy criticism in his short time at the helm of the team.
You just keep punching. Keep punching. Tire him out. 2 rounds. Come on. I know you can do this. Just keep punching now. 2 rounds. That's all we got. 6 minutes. Let's go.
Close look at Big Baby, and there's the Miller family seated at ringside, just over adjacent to us, having a good time watching their guy. In round 10, Miller get off 85 punches, landing 27. Duhaupas 14 of 49, and you heard David Godberg in Duhaupas' corner saying, all we can do is keep punching, get in there and throw some more.
85 punches is a good number in the 10th round for a heavyweight, Jim.
85 punches is a good number in the 10th round for a featherweight.
That's my point. And so how can his size really be a factor if he can throw that many punches in round 10 still? I want him to be able to throw that many punches in round 10 against anybody he fights.
But the main thing is to train hard and come in whatever that weight is after training hard.
Exactly.
The big question at the end of the day, if you're going to face Wilder, is do you have the chin? And that's probably the big question against Joshua as well.
And also, in terms of mentioning where that fight would take place, Joshua made it clear after his last fight he wants to fight in the UK. And he can certainly do that because he's the money generator. He's making tens of millions per fight. Packing, 100,000 people into stadiums, 70,000, 90,000, 100,000. But this is an enormous market here in North America. And it would be, you would think, make a lot of sense for Anthony Joshua to open it up for himself. And if Big Baby Miller can close the show here and become an increasingly attractive opponent, here he's doing that with these excellent combinations upstairs.
Referee Sade Murdaugh, watching Miller land and land and land, gives every indication that he's not worried about Duhaupas, that he thinks Duhaupas is in good shape to go ahead and finish the fight. But he's going to have a headache, that's for sure.
Referee did his homework just like we did. He knows that Duhaupas went 11 rounds with Deontay Wilder. If you win 11 rounds with Deontay Wilder, you have to have a chin and a half. And a heart and a half. And Duhaupas is showing that tonight.
And what you like from Big Baby Miller here is there was no give, Roy, in terms of him not looking to land these damaging punches.
No,
he didn't think, oh, this guy's a tough guy, I'm just going to move my hands and grind them down and win just that way. You see his urgency to end the fight.
And keeping his body attack up too, Max. You got to love that.
We've seen Duhaupas land enough hard, clean shots by now to know that he does not have the power to take Big Baby out with one shot. That being the case, chances are he's looking at another 3 minutes and 15 seconds of constant punishment before he makes it to the finish line.
If he does. These are two big guys throwing real shots still.
This is a good heavyweight fight, Jim.
Really good. Really good heavyweight fight. I mean, it's not Bo Holyfield 1 because we're not quite at that skill level, but it's still a heck of a battle between two big men.
Give it all you got, you know what I'm saying? Jarrell, take this motherfucker to the moon, you know what I'm saying? Give it all you got. Do what you gotta do, that's right. This.
What's wrong, John? What's wrong?
Ask him how you feel. He's doing good.
He's all right?
Yeah, he's all right. I'm just trying to breathe.
Last round. Okay.
Duhaupas hurt something at the very end of that round and kind of hopped back to his corner.
Referee Sade Murdaugh was over there in that corner,
one more. Come on,
trying to get as close a look as possible at the question of whether Duhaupas actually wants to continue in the fight. And here he comes for the last round. Through 11 rounds, Miller has landed 239 and thrown 701. Both of those are career highs, surpassing the numbers he produced against Beck.
Let's go.
And now here we go.
Hard to understand what happened in Duhaupas' corner there. It looked at the end of the round like Duhaupas hurt something. Maybe not exactly boxing related, like a foot or something, the way he hopped back to the corner. And for a moment in between rounds, it looked like maybe he didn't want to fight, but obviously he did.
He has a big heart, Max. Very big heart.
And enough pride to want to finish the fight rather than to see Miller put a KO on his record. All of which means that Miller is going to get another round of experience and another chance to pad his already personal record CompuBox numbers.
But he's a serious factor in the heavyweight division, Jim. He proved that tonight. Even if he doesn't knock this guy out, he still proved to me that he's definitely a real factor in the heavyweight division. Easily top 5.
And the thing about Jarrell Miller is that he's a good fighter, and he fights with a bit of charisma. But his charisma, when you hear him talk, and we showed the piece with the young lady who's fighting cancer, and the friendship they have, and he's a good dude, you can tell that, but he's also a big personality, a fun-loving, charismatic personality.
He's still throwing his body in his punches. whereas Johann is just throwing arm punches at this point. See that?
For Roy, you say Miller is easily top 5. Now, top 2 are Wilder and Joshua. Take your pick as to which one is number 1. If you take Tyson Fury seriously and you see him as still being an active fighter, Miller makes 4. Who else would round out the top 5 in your view?
Well, in my view, you still got to look at Joseph Parker because he went and gave Joshua a really good fight the other day. Say what they want to say. Joseph Parker gave him a really good test. Joshua did really good answering the test, but Joseph Parker did give him a good test.
I agree with you. I think Parker showed his defensive skills, his movement, his overall ring awareness, all the qualities and the chin in going the distance with Joshua.
By the way, I'll tell you someone else who was viewed as an opponent until not that long ago, but we saw him on our air not that long ago. Dillian White is a real fighter.
Dillian White was dedicated and serious against Lucas Brown and produced maybe a career best performance in London on March 24th.
It's a really interesting division right now, the heavyweights.
As interesting as the heavyweights have been in quite some time.
And myself, I still also like Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz gave Joseph Parker all he wanted. And here, Duhaupas, I don't know if he gave Baby Miller all he wanted, but he gave him a good fight, and he gave us a good fight. And Big Baby Miller, I think, as much as he needed to make amends for his last performance, which was a win, by the way, he did so here even without getting the knockout.
He went 12 rounds for the first time in his career, so now we know that Big Baby Miller can go 12 rounds. He can go 12 rounds at a fast pace, weighing 304 pounds. He can throw nearly 800 punches, weighing 304 pounds, and land 261 of them by CompuBox count. He can wind up winning 119-109 on Harold Letterman's unofficial scorecard. All in all, a terrific performance by Jarrell Big Baby Miller here in Barclays Center in his home borough of Brooklyn. By the way, he owns an MMA gym in Queens, but he trains in a boxing gym here in Brooklyn. And what a display of courage, presence, heart, determination, or maybe just bad craziness by Johann Duhaupas.
It's who he is, Jim. He's a really good fighter. He's a game fighter. He's a smart fighter. He's a tough fighter. And tonight, the toughness wasn't enough, but he was definitely in shape and ready to try to pull off an upset.
France's best heavyweight since blank, and I don't know how to fill in the blank.
I give it a 5. Going 12 rounds today. Tough guy.
He gives it a 5.
No excuses. Yeah, way more good than I thought. Tough guy. Yeah, that's what I can say. I felt good. My body felt good. No excuses. He was just tough. He was tough.
And now let's go to Michael Buffer.
After 12 rounds of boxing here at Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, we go to the judges' scorecards. Bernard Bruni and Julie Letterman both have it 119-109. Larry Hazard Jr. scores it 117-111. All to the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated from Brooklyn, New York, USA, Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
A great night for Lily Weaver, a great night for Jarrell Big Baby Miller's family, a great night in Brooklyn. Outstanding heavyweight fight. Miller stays unbeaten, goes 12 rounds for the first time in his career. Trainer Harry Kite toweling Miller off as we look at the final CompuBox numbers. He landed 133 more punches than Duhaupas, more than doubling the connect rate of Duhaupas. He threw nearly 800 punches, 244 more than Duhaupas, and winds up at an overall connect percentage of 33%, which is very good. Power punches, 38% connect percentage. And the accuracy of that uppercut on the inside, a big part of those numbers. Duhaupas, 67 out of 210. Miller's not the world's most elusive target, but there are moments there when he made himself harder to find. Jabs. What a night with the jab for Big Baby Miller. Landing 26% of his jabs. Very high for a heavyweight. 76 landed jabs in 12 rounds, also high for a heavyweight. Duhaupas was also good with his own jab. Those are good numbers. And now Max Kellerman stands by with Big Baby, and as we told you, he can talk.
Jarrell, congratulations on the win. Even though you scored a stoppage last time out and went the distance this time out, it looked ringside like you were throwing punches with bad intentions tonight. Is that the case?
Oh, I was trying to get him out of there. But my corner told me he's a tough guy. If we can't get him out there by like 6-7, just keep the pressure on, go back to my jab. And like I said before, I never went 12 rounds. So that's my first time going 12 rounds. And I said, you know what, let me just get the rounds in and prove that guys 300 plus pounds, not fat guys, but a big guy.
Who said you're a fat guy?
You did call me a fat guy.
Are you a fat guy?
No, I'm just a big bone guy. I like cheeseburgers. What can I say?
Big bone, but you're 30 pounds bigger bone tonight than when we saw you last time.
Yeah, man, I had to go and stack up on my Belizean food, man, my panadas and salbutes, man, because beans and rice, I need to get my strength back.
We were talking about that ringside. What's the best weight for you, et cetera, and came to the conclusion you just train hard, get in the best shape, and whatever weight that is, because you're a heavyweight.
Correct.
Is this the best shape you could be in? Is there another level?
No, I think I definitely can get in better shape than this. Like I said, I just felt like I was small in my last fight, so I put on the size as quick as I could. So now we're going to maintain it and keep working, eat clean, and just come down to a natural weight where I feel comfortable and have my speed and power. Like I said, my conditioning felt really good. Just the legs were a little slow, but like I said, I went 12 rounds today, and we're back to the drawing board.
Real quick, where do you think you fit in this heavyweight division? Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and the like. Where do you fit in at this moment?
I know for a fact I'd run Anthony Joshua out the ring. Tell G-String, come over here, and I must toast that English muffin. Like I said before, I'm from Brooklyn. I ain't running from nobody. So tell Eddie Hearn, like he promised, bring Anthony G-String Joshua to Brooklyn, and we gonna run him out the ring. Like Casanova says, strap up, baby.
Never ran, never will.
Never ran, never will, baby.
Thanks, Big Baby. Appreciate it. Jim?
We're at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and now halfway through tonight's doubleheader. Next up, our main event. Daniel Jacobs, looking to put on the kind of show for his hometown fans that will keep him in the discussion for the biggest fights in the middleweight division. He'll be taking on undefeated Polish fighter Maciej Sulinski, whose in-ring abilities far outpace his public notoriety. Jacobs versus Sulinski is next. First, let's take a look at some upcoming HBO Sports programming. Wednesday, May 2, it's the premiere of Being Serena, a multi-part documentary series that chronicles the personal and professional life of tennis superstar Serena Williams as she prepares for her return to the court. Immediately following Being Serena, it's an encore presentation of the Emmy Award-winning news magazine Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel, featuring a profile on Yankee legend Derek Jeter, facing criticism as a first-time owner of the Miami Marlins. May 5, middleweight sensation Gennady Golovkin will square off against tough veteran Vanas Martirosyan. Wednesday, May 9, it's the return of my show, The Fight Game, where we examine the biggest stories and most compelling issues in the world of boxing. Don't miss a moment of the action. For more information on the schedule and the fighters, go to hbo.com/boxing.